Hey, wake up. Are you okay? You were screaming in your sleep, like you were having some kind of nightmare. It worried me. That's strange. Your eyes are glowing. I don't think that's your Series 3Z5 ocular implant doing that. I know because I installed it. This glow is so peculiar. It has the same color hue as the bioluminescence in the Kaiju Memorial Park. That's probably not a coincidence. You say you have this nightmare often, but it's always a little bit different. That's odd. I know a little about recurring nightmares. They usually stem from some kind of psychological trauma established early in childhood. You don't think that's the case with you? Have you ever heard of dream diving technology? My mother was its original inventor. She pioneered the earliest prototypes before she died. It allows two people to experience one another's dreams, or possibly nightmares. She originally wanted to call it the psychosynaptic voyage imager. I told her to keep it simple and just call it the dream diver. Her theory was that by exploring the subconscious realms in a more direct way, we could interact with and unlock new levels of creativity. And she, of course, wanted to use it to help her unearth new scientific discoveries. With the dream diver, she and my father could explore the symbols and strangeness of her imagination, uncovering bold, hidden epiphanies lurking beneath the surface of her mind. It was because of the dream diver that she cracked the code to opening the wormholes that let us travel through interstellar space. After her death, one of her colleagues stole her designs and sold it to Imaginary Games Corporate. That happened a lot with her inventions. I've never been able to prove they were stolen from our family. Anyways, if you're open to it, I can help you eliminate the recurring nightmare by using a dream diver. Revealing and acknowledging the pain often takes its power away. And I'll be right here the whole time. You seem skeptical. But if this isn't going away, why not give it a twirl and see if there's something that can be done? It's because you experience physical pain in the dream. I see. Well, I can dial down the sensory input, and that should keep us both safe. Okay, great. I'm glad you agree. Just let me find my clothes first. They're around here somewhere. Okay, I have 2 virtuokinetic dream diver models in the back of my closet. Since technology has come a ways, they'll have higher fidelity than the prototypes my mother created back in the day. I've made some modifications to their H46 calibration firmware to allow for greater control of the dreamscape, because I can't help but tinker, you know? Okay, I found them. Connecting these to power sources. Running diagnostics. Everything looks green. Are you ready? Just fit this part around your head, like this. And you can adjust the strap for comfort over on this side. How does it feel? Not too tight? I'm not sure how long this will take, so you should feel as comfortable as possible. The controls are similar to typical, fully immersive headsets. Use your hands to control your body, and there's an in-system menu if you need it. I'm connecting our dream divers together now. It'll feel strange. Our 2 minds are now linking. I'll be feeling what you feel. Under these settings, it won't be vice versa, since we're looking to help clear your subconscious of whatever is plaguing it. Okay, take a deep breath and let's go. That humming sound is the neural oscillators syncing my mind with yours. It's like tuning into a radio station, except in this case, it's your subconscious thoughts and experiences being broadcasted, but only to me. That blinking icon on the right side of your view indicates that the neurobridge is stabilizing the one-way neural link between us. You won't feel much on your end, but for me, it's like entering a state of controlled dreaming, and it's setting up everything I need to navigate the experience. Since every mind is different, it takes a few moments to adapt. It's the microfilament sensors that really make this all possible, detecting and interpreting your brain's activity. These sensors are incredibly sensitive, and if my mother had managed to patent it before her death, I'd be a trillionaire. But that's water under the bridge. All I need is you, and that's enough. Yes, I do mean it. Things have been different since you've come into my life. I like it. I like spending time with you. It's almost finished decoding and converting your brain's activity into something that we can interact with. You should see the virtual display rendering now. It's just a slosh of colors, and that's basically the headset's interpretation of your current conscious state. Right now, it looks a bit like a mix of paint twisting on a canvas. Is that my face that I see, where the swirls of blues are mixing with pink? That's happening because you're thinking of me. I don't know why I suddenly feel all self-conscious. I guess it's a bit surprising to see that I'm actually on your mind. I shouldn't be that surprised. I suppose you're right. If we reversed the flow of neural data, you'd see that you're here too, always in my thoughts. Okay, I'm now filtering out the dream states that seem to have the highest stress responses to them. Just a fair warning ahead of time. This isn't foolproof science. This part of the mind is difficult to measure. So what we'll do is a lot of guesswork, and nothing usually goes as expected. These readings are strange. I don't think I've seen signals like this before. I'm not sure if they're dreams or nightmares, but they definitely appear to have a high stress component, and that's exactly what we want to eliminate from now on when you sleep. So, it's not as easy as zapping them from my screen here. We're actually going to have to go into your dream and experience it so we can remove any emotional ties to the neural pathways. Are you ready? You don't have to worry about frightening me with what's in your subconscious. I've seen a lot of difficult things as a cybernetic surgeon. You probably know by now that I'm a bit harder and tougher than most people anticipate. Okay, the dream diver has caught the signal of your most recent nightmare. You'll feel it start as a small tug first, like holding a fishing line that's just caught a bite. That feeling of it trying to get away, that's actually your conscious mind battling the flow of your subconscious. They're each fighting for power. But the dream diver's job is to continue reeling in your subconscious so that we can sort of trap it and have some agency over that part of your mind. Right there. This next part usually feels very strange, like a gentle hand is pressing you beneath the surface of a lake. You'll feel weightless for a moment. And then, there, the dream is appearing around us now. It looks like we're in some kind of laboratory or facility. You see the white, semi-transparent alloys and ergonomic surfaces, the bright white LEDs illuminating the room. And over there, they look like technicians of some sort. Your heart, our heart, is racing, at least 100 times per minute. our arms. They're being restrained above us, and we're standing prisoner in the center of this room. Your mouth appears to be gagged, so your dream self can't speak. It's a strange vision, indeed. It's a lot more vivid than I was expecting. This dream driver model is only a few months old, but most dreams still have a heavy amount of artifacting, both pixelated and from the soupy lack of definition from the diver's interpreter. But that's not the case at all with your dream right now. You feel tired, exhausted, like you haven't slept in days. That's also strange. In fact, there's a lot that's not making sense. I almost wonder if we've run into a bug in the system. Are you sure this is the nightmare you've been having? It is the right one? Okay. Well, let's take a closer look. These screens, I can actually make out what they say. Wormhole status inactive. Drive status inactive. Drive condition agitated. This is especially peculiar. Why? Because all of this text is clear, consistent, and readable. Sometimes the text in dreams is legible, but usually not for long, because none of this is real and just a construct of your mind. But I have a hypothesis forming. I think it's possible that what we're seeing right now isn't a dream at all. I don't think it's a memory either, because this dream diver model is not designed for revisiting memories or anything like that. So that leaves me to think that what we're seeing is real. We're witnessing the perspective of someone else, this poor man who is being held captive. It's just a theory. But all signs are pointing to this not being a typical dream or nightmare at all. Do you know why that might be possible? If we've been transported to someone else's waking experience. You're not sure because the nightmares always become hazy after you're awake. I suppose there's not much to do except observe more. This person we're inhabiting seems to be the height of a full-grown man. His hands are dark-skinned, and he's wearing a white jumpsuit. I can't make any other identifying marks. This circular room that we're in confuses me a bit. It has all the hallmarks of being a starship's hyperdrive bay. By the looks and size of this room, I'd say perhaps a mid-sized science vessel. On the walls are chronosync panels. They're usually used to manage the warp calibration. The data on the screen there looks like a report of photon transfer channels, measuring the hyperspatial energies when the drive is activated. And right below us, through this transparent alloy, pulsing steadily, those are the tachyon colliders on standby. And here are the null energy conduits running above the ceiling to our restraints, to the prisoner being held where a hyperdrive would normally be, which is the strangest thing of all, because there is no drive in this room unless, well, that would be ludicrous. Is this prisoner the hyperdrive of the ship? That couldn't be possible. I've never heard of such a thing. This whole situation is most unusual. If my hypothesis is correct, that this is a real person we're seeing through the dream diver, that would mean you have some kind of psychic link together. That kind of thing is extraordinarily rare. Supposedly human psionics do exist, but they've all been captured by the United Earth government or enslaved into their agencies. I don't know much about psychic capability. The subject is beyond my current understanding. But does that mean you're a psionic? I'm not sure. There's also your kaiju-influenced blood. That may very well have something to do with it. I wish we could see the face of this prisoner, but we're stuck in the perspective through his own eyes. See if you can find any identifying marks Maybe the name of the ship? Do you feel that strange sensation? Your mind and my mind are linked, but for a moment, it was almost like there was a third entity. Definitely male. Could it be the prisoner? I'm suddenly thinking this is a terrible idea. I have no idea what might happen if the prisoner's mind fully connects with the dream diver. We should disconnect the system. I'm calling it. I'm pulling the plug. Oh, drat. That's weird. The dream diver system isn't shutting down when I tell it to. I have no idea what's happening right now. No, don't remove your helmet. That's the most dangerous thing that you can do. The neurobridge is emitting a sensitive sequence of high energy between my mind and yours. If we don't disconnect safely, it could cause permanent brain damage to both of us. Perhaps it's a simple malfunction. Wait. The technicians are doing something. They're activating the holo terminals. I think they're preparing for warp. Maybe that's what's causing the disruption. That's definitely a startup sequence they're initiating. At least I can see the planet we're currently orbiting. It's called Adriaxia 4. I don't recall that one, though I'm not a space expert. But for now, let's memorize the name. I can hear the tachyon colliders buzzing. We're struggling now. The prisoner is struggling. He's expecting pain. Can you sense it? I can feel the sensation now, a buzzing starting at our fingertips near the restraints. The lights in the room are becoming so pulsatingly bright. He's closed his eyes. We can't see anything anymore. His pain is increasing. Do you feel that too? It's becoming unbearable. Even with the sensors turned all the way down. I'm not sure if he'll survive this. Oh, my, that's strange. The world has become a blur. The hyperdrive bay has vanished. Where are we? Colors are appearing, and shapes are starting to take form. This isn't your dream or the prisoner's perspective. This is my mother's lab, when she and my father were still alive. So, this is my dream then. Somehow, we must have disconnected from the ship's captive. I think the neurobridge must have inverted. So now, we're inside my subconscious instead of yours, and we're no longer trapped in a first perspective. We can move around freely. You'll also notice the artifacting that I was talking about before. The features of the images shift and morph a bit because the dream is as fluid as our emotions. To the left, the little girl with blonde hair and the tiny lab coat. That's me. Yes, I augment my hair to be pink. Blonde was my natural color. The man smiling over there is my father. The two of them, Pearl and Wesley Prime, the great scientist and her husband. You can see their laboratory was quite massive and state-of-the-art at the time. And here, this model, it's an early rendition of the Lightstar Gateway before its construction was completed. I'm remembering this dream now. We should stop it before it gets too far. Odd. I'm still locked out of the controls. I don't know why that is, unless we're still connected to your psychic link somehow. I'm not sure what to say right now, because this dream, it's actually a nightmare. It may seem pleasant enough for the moment, but there's a reason this one haunts me. It used to reoccur most nights when I slept, but I was able to use the dream diver to suppress most of it from my subconscious. Why did I suppress it? Because this stems from the day that my parents died. You can see my mother testing the portal emitter, and those dark splashes of malevolent blues appearing at the fringes of the room. That's the fear. My mind is trying to resist the emotional impact of the nightmare. Even now, my heart is beating fast. I can't help it. I was only 9 years old at the time, so I don't know exactly what she did to cause it. But something went wrong. You can see that the lightning storm has started. The wind is howling. Electromagnetic strikes are bouncing across the room. My mother and father were closest to the anomaly. I was on the fringes of the lab with their assistant, Mortimer Higgins. I have to close my eyes for this part. It's hard to watch it again, even though it's clear as day, no matter what. A giant clawed hand slipped through the portal that was opening and grabbed them. They were both gone in an instant. In reality, Mortimer pulled me from the room, and we barely managed to escape as the first wave of giant monsters, including Xenothrax, pulled through the rift. The assistant dragged me to a hover car, and we managed to escape. But so many others weren't so lucky as the anomaly grew in size and the giant monsters poured through. But my nightmare doesn't follow my memory exactly. Instead of escaping, another clawed hand grabs me and carries me into the air. It's Xenothrax exiting the portal. I'm helpless to watch as the sea of monsters appear. Then Xenothrax carries me high above the city. I watch, helpless, as the beast wreaks havoc below. Its massive, shadowy form looming over the cityscape, demolishing buildings as if they are mere toys. The structures crumble and shatter, scattering debris like confetti. The streets are pandemonium. Xenothrax's massive, clawed feet descend upon cars, squashing drivers and pedestrians alike with alien indifference. His each step thunders and echoes of doom. The ground splits and cracks beneath his feet. I'm choking with dust, and my ears are filled with the screams of those perishing to the monsters. I'm powerless, just a small child in the clutches of a creature from some unknown abyss. I remember it all vividly now. It continues on like this, usually until I wake up. But like I said, I've done a lot of work to try and rid it from my subconscious. I guess more of the nightmare remains than I was hoping. It's because of the dream diver, and I suppose this malfunction, that's bringing it to the surface. If I wasn't locked out of the controls, I'd stop it by now. You're right. It is a terrible thing to be haunted by. You were there too, though we didn't know it until recently. The same day I lost my parents is the same day you were covered in the kaiju blood that's become a part of your essence. I'm ashamed to show this side of my past, for someone to see what happened, to cause so many lives to be lost. I appreciate you taking my hand, and I'm happy that you understand how I feel. Thank you. It's not what I expected. I guess I thought that you might choose to leave, now that you've seen this part of my psyche that I can't fully shake. Your support means everything to me. There's this strange sensation again, like we're being sucked into somewhere. I'm going to open my eyes again. Yes, we're back on the ship again, with the prisoner. He's exhausted and in pain. Can you sense it? He really is the hyperdrive of this whole ship. And they put him through a great deal of torment during each jump. The planetary display is updated. We're orbiting Earth now, back in the Sol system. He's in closer proximity to our physical bodies now. No wonder his thoughts feel stronger. Can we tell him to look at a reflective surface so we can see his face? It might take the two of us together. Focus on the same thought of looking at the shiniest surface he knows of. Yes, I think he can hear us. He doesn't like having our minds here, but he's doing it. Yes, that's him. I see his face now. One of the technicians is approaching us with a taser prod. He shocked the captive. It broke the link with the dream diver. Well, the system is shut down. It's safe to remove your helmet now. Oh gosh, my forehead is all sweaty after that. Yours too? That whole dream dive took an unexpected turn, didn't it? Who is this strange person that you have a psychic link to? Who also might be what I guess we would call a living hyperdrive. Let's bring up the dream diver recording and go back to his face. There, I found it on the holo display, running through facial recognition. Match found. Well, this might explain a few things. The captive we were inhabiting is Caspian Amari from Neo-Tokyo. He's the same man that claimed to be a descendant of the kaijus that I told you about earlier. See, let me access the footage. Here. This is aerial footage of him from 6 months ago when he was in the Luminaire Gardens, where the bioluminescence living in the kaiju skeletons reacted to his presence. The same way that it did with you. The two of you are definitely linked by this. I don't know exactly what all of it means, but I can tell by the look on your face that you want to find out. Of course, I'll help you. You mean so much to me, but I'm worried that it might be dangerous to look into this further. Yes, I suppose neither of us could live without knowing the answers. Okay then. It's time for us to make a plan.